Moving ahead here to 3.1 of the parabolas unit, we're now looking at page 114, question 4, where we're looking at the leading coefficient and the degree of the function to gain information. So if we look here, we have a second degree function and a leading coefficient of positive 1. Because of the degree and the sign of the leading coefficient, we know that this graph is going to look like this, and for the end behavior, we just say opens up. Again, when we deal with an even degreed parabola, what we're dealing with is something that is going to go to either infinity or negative infinity in both directions. So we don't care as much about the quadrants as we do with, say, an odd numbered function. However, we do just need to say the opens up or opens down. Now, as for the possible amount of x-intercepts, the possible number is just equal to the degree. So the possible number of x-intercepts is in this case 2. Again, this isn't saying that we know for sure that there's 2, anything like that. We're just saying that there's a possible number of x-intercepts of 2. And as for the value of the y-intercept, we just do the f of 0, which is going to be equal in this case to negative 1, which means we have a y-intercept at negative 1, and that is all of our answers to this question. However, if we look at our cubic function now, so again, we have a third degree and a negative leading coefficient, which tells us that the graph looks somewhat like this. But because we're dealing with a cubic function, we are now going to say that our end behavior is going from quadrant 2 into quadrant 4. So that is our end behavior for this graph, because this does give us quite a bit of information. As for the number of possible x-intercepts, so number of possible x-intercepts, that is just going to be 3, because again, it's equal to our degree, which is 3. So we get number of possible x-intercepts is equal to 3, and then our function at 0 is going to be equal to positive 5. So we have a y-intercept of 5. So now that's how we can get just that information initially from the graph, and then further on in the unit, we get a little more in depth. But if you're looking for any personalized or one-on-one help, you can click the link below.